Hope Vale Council, we did not take up the initial offer from Queensland State Libraries some years ago. We didn't have a building. However, we took the view in 2007 as a council that by opening such a centre, we would be able to implement and expend services that benefit the needs of the whole community. Consequently, at the end of 2007, the council voted to move out of the building they were using as their council chambers. Now it's time for us to go and sit under the mango tree and get hit by mangoes when we have our meeting. And they agreed that we give up the building. A key aspect of this centre is to keep the Hope Vale children safe and smart, with a particular focus on after-school activities, offering access to programs encompassing homework centres, cultural enrichment, recreation and nutrition. With this centre, we will be encouraging programs with activities that focus on learning, cultural awareness and opportunities which contribute to reduced substance use and violence. With the help of government and philanthropic groups and our own community, we would like to see some of the following programs organised in our centres. Cultural programs, language recording programs that we've already started, literacy programs, programs for the elderly, holiday and weekend programs in conjunction with recreational programs, extended library services, telecommunications, technology programs for all ages, parent skills programs, employment counselling, training, placement, service for early school leavers, service for those with disabilities. I believe that parents and families are their children's first teachers and most important teachers, and are critical players in supporting their children's formal education. Literacy is seldom a capacity that can be developed by schools in isolation. In fact, children's literacy skills are dramatically linked to home access to literacy materials. In Hope Vale, we want to see adults involved in literacy activities and programs so their knowledge increases the likelihood of developing literacy skills among their children. This concept of community learning centres is not new. In the US, they opened some 6,000 centres. Outcomes from these programs are impressive. An evaluation carried out on these centres in America showed a reduction in most of the things that we have put up, such as reduction in violence, a substantial reduction in substance use, a reduction in juvenile crime, improved school attendance, improvement in numeracy, literacy and interpersonal management, improved self-esteem and self-confidence, and a substantial participation rate of children attending after-school programs. Indeed, the underlying philosophies of our centre is to foster parental and community ownership of the education process in general. This new IKTC in Hope Vale is the foundation of our learning community, a community where education is a lifelong affair, where our families and schools are strong and healthy, and where community members identify their pressing needs and develop programs and secure resources to address those needs. For the Hope Vale Council, this has been one of the most significant outcomes of this centre. It has resulted in a partnership where individuals feel valued and equal, and where they can make a difference. We are only at the start of this journey, and my council has to now find a way to build on these relationships, networks, and trust that it will enable further community development and capacity building at Hope Vale. Any new initiative requires both enthusiasm and financial support. For this newly opened centre in Hope Vale to be sustainable, it will require a new earmarked funding. The council is funded to provide roads, rates, rubbish. But we must also be funded to provide reading so that our community members can enjoy the same services as every other Australian. We strongly urge a concerted effort by government to focus on developing policy programs that will promote and support Indigenous councils in building these learning communities. Specifically, we would recommend that the federal government fund a series of national demonstration projects under competitive bids to explore and evaluate various approaches to building Indigenous learning communities. Such bids might be developed by government departments in partnership with local communities and businesses. We have developed at Hope. The partners who have supported the Hope Vale Council in opening the IKTC include the Queensland State Library, Department of Communities, .com Work Ventures and the AMP Foundation. That AMP is not the Alcohol Management Plant Foundation. The program has to be flexible enough to ensure that funded projects are built around the specific needs of particular communities and would cover resources. Activities and services such as community access to libraries and internet literacy programs, health services, daycare, parent skills development, recreation, and the like. Requiring ongoing evaluation by third parties would ensure objectivity and measure the degree to which the program stated aims and goals. And as a plan for sharing the evaluation should also be required so as to ensure the full value can be gained from the experience of such initiatives. I would like to conclude my speech tonight by emphasizing two particular points, namely community empowerment and earmarked funding, which are critically important to the success of these centres. I feel a strong sense of ownership and control in getting this new centre opened in Hope Vale. We've had that by all council. My council is built in ways for participants to steer, shape the programs, which has led to a strong sense of empowerment and ownership. And we want community members to have an associated sense of responsibility. We have done this through recognition of an advisory committee which represents the main community groups, including traditional owners, education, the justice group, the men's group, the women's group, and the health services. We have appointed a local community teacher. You all have met her, Shirley Costello, as our centre coordinator, and we would want to develop the skills of our local young people to repair and maintain our computers. And that was the aim of the project when we first started. Some of our young ones have been out with Bob McGinn. Our community tradespeople, we've got a number of tradespeople within our community. You name it, we've got it, diesel fitting. Our community tradespeople painted and repaired the building, then installed new furniture and shelving, thus transforming the centre into a wonderful community facility. However, all this good work and effort will be lost if we do not receive ongoing and earmarked funding to staff and resource our new centre. Boundaries, either real or imagined, must be dismantled. The wider community must be invited in, and the pool of skills and opportunities available through education must be made accessible to all in the community for lifelong learning. And I want to make sure that I push this last bit home. Learning communities will grow where community members come to the realization that learning is a community activity as well as a community responsibility. Thank you.